Criteria here. Mike Kobe will now be out of the conversation. We'll start it with LeBron. We don't even need to mention these two no more. They are that good when it comes to the blueprint of the game. Without stats and all that other shit, they out. Now, let's start with stats. You start with LeBron, everybody else can fall in fucking line. LeBron is the GOAT. But that's because we're not mentioning these other two niggas no more.
Rashad McCants just stormed into the conversation, kicked the door wide open, and flipped the whole table with one claim that refuses to stay quiet anymore. He's pointing straight at what he calls the league's worst-kept secret: protect LeBron James at all costs. No tough whistles, no real accountability, just vibes, banners, and silence when questions get uncomfortable. Is this truth, clout chasing, or the wildest plot twist basketball has seen in years? Either way, buckle up, because this rabbit hole is stacked with receipts, messy drama, and moments that feel unreal. You're about to rethink things you assumed were locked in stone. This didn't start as some random hot take or late-night rant. McCants framed what's happening with the Los Angeles Lakers as something way deeper than a bad stretch of games or unlucky shooting nights.
I've never heard one of the greatest say they were the greatest of all time. That was very interesting to me. Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Oof, man, you know what? It's one thing. We all sit at this table all the time and sing his praises. Yeah. I think LeBron is a great player. Yeah. I just think that's disrespectful, honestly, to Bill Russell. What did Bill Russell do? Won every time. He said, all right, fellas, you want to win? Come with me, we'll go on the floor. That's what this game's all about. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he was raised on all levels.
He's talking culture, power, and how standards quietly shift when the spotlight gets too bright. His point cuts straight through the usual excuses fans hear every season. This isn't about injuries, tired legs, or bad rotations. According to McCants, it's about a real-time transformation that feels awkward because everyone can see it happening, but nobody wants to say it out loud. In McCants' view, the Lakers aren't just underperforming, they're slowly redefining what accountability even means, and LeBron sits right at the center of that shift. Whether people like it or not, that's where the tension lives. And here's the key part that makes this hit harder. McCants doesn't deny LeBron's greatness at all. He gives full respect to the longevity, the numbers, the moments that will be studied for decades. No jealousy card, no lazy hate angle. What he challenges is the standard. Other legends were held to brutal expectations, especially in this jersey.
You don't like me because you see me calling it like I see it. You're not Michael Jordan. You're not the GOAT. You did choke in an NBA Finals. 4 consecutive fourth quarters in an NBA Finals. This man was scoring 4 points. One game, he scored 0 points. In an NBA Finals, fourth quarter. With Jason Terry or J.J. Barea guarding you. There is no explanation for that to anybody who knows basketball.
McCants argues the issue isn't LeBron aging, it's the franchise bending the rules to accommodate him instead of demanding the same ruthless excellence they once demanded from everyone else. When LeBron arrived, fans expected standards to rise, not get rebranded. Early hype made sense because people believed a culture reset was coming, not a quiet rewrite, and that's where this story really starts heating up. Rashad McCants argues that what we're really watching isn't random chaos, but a slow recalibration of what effort, leadership, and accountability even mean in purple and gold. Not loudly, not officially, but quietly and deliberately. This season, McCants points to a stretch where the Los Angeles Lakers looked oddly functional without LeBron James on the floor.
There's just so many. Two of my good, Larry and Magic. I mean, just led teams and turned the league around. You don't need to say that about yourself. Let other people say that for you. I mean, I was kind of surprised because I had read about it. That's the first time I had actually heard him say it. Made me the GOAT. I'm like, damn.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, I was like, okay, and I love the kid. I think he's a great player. I think he's been great for the game. But let other people say that for you. To me, it's just disrespectful for a lot of people.
They weren't world beaters, but the energy was different. The ball moved, bodies moved, and the defense actually showed up possession after possession. Players like Austin Reeves suddenly looked looser, sharper, and way more confident. Decisions came faster, shots came cleaner. It felt like nobody was tiptoeing around an invisible hierarchy anymore. The offense flowed like basketball, not permission slips. The defense wasn't elite, but it tried, consistently, and that matters. For once, the Lakers looked like a team playing together instead of a group waiting for instructions from one central figure.
I'm player 98. Cool. Now y'all can have y'all, whoever he paying to say he the best, whatever the case may be. You like him, you like him. He the most biggest IQ guy. All that shit, cool. You won't hear nothing else come from me. Because I'm taking these two guys out of the conversation. They ain't in it no more. For me. I don't know about anybody else. Because there's a long list of NBA players that say what I say and agree and feel the way I agree. Because we played. We watched it. We seen it. Shaq played with Mike and played against Mike before he played with Kobe.
McCants is clear on this part. This isn't an accident and it's not coincidence. When LeBron returned, the rhythm shifted almost instantly, not because of talent, but because of tone. McCants frames this as a leadership issue, not an X's and O's problem. In his view, LeBron isn't just another superstar on the roster, he's the emotional thermostat of the team. When he plays with urgency, the group rises. When he conserves energy, the rest subconsciously slides downward. That's where McCants draws a hard line. He compares LeBron to legends like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, and Wilt Chamberlain. Those guys didn't negotiate effort. Competing was automatic. Leadership showed up in actions, not explanations. Things get messier when McCants brings J.J. Redick into it.
I don't know if that's a true statement, but he said LeBron ain't no Mike or...
Yeah,
he's not in the same breath.
Becomes very critical of
not in the same
LeBron winning the MVP.
It's his opinion.
Man,
it's his opinion.
listen, no.
It's his opinion. That's all you can say about that. You can't change his opinion. You can dissect it, but
he said he's not in the same conversation.
to him.
That's, you know why?
And to me, too. And to me. And to me.
So he's not in the conversation, though?
In the same breath. He said in the same breath.
You know why? Look,
Publicly challenging LeBron doesn't spark accountability, it sparks backlash. The narrative flips, the media piles on, and suddenly the coach becomes the problem. McCants frames it as a system built to protect LeBron at all costs, even if that protection quietly undercuts the authority of the head coach. And that's where the real tension lives. The language itself is where things start looking shaky. The way J.J. Redick talks about effort being the word of the day or execution being a shared responsibility sounds less like leadership and more like survival mode. It feels cautious, rehearsed, and way too careful. Rashad McCants openly mocks this idea. He compares it to a kindergarten classroom, not a championship locker room. In his view, grown professionals shouldn't need daily motivational slogans just to compete.
Legend has elevated in retirement. It was already high when he was done. People considered him the GOAT, but that case has only gotten stronger. Steve, I don't think retirement is going to treat LeBron James very well as it relates to his legacy and reputation in the NBA. This GOAT debate, I think 10 years from now, people are going to be saying, LeBron was...
That kind of coded language exists for one reason. Redick can't say the obvious truth without putting his own seat at risk. McCants argues that Redick isn't really leading, he's negotiating. And when a coach has to negotiate effort, authority is already cracked. Before his tenure even fully takes shape, his power feels compromised. Defense is where McCants says the truth can't hide anymore. Defense exposes effort, pride, and respect for the game in ways offense never can. Shots can fall by accident, but defense is choice after choice after choice. Michael Jordan treated defense like a personal insult. Kobe Bryant saw it as a responsibility. Bill Russell built entire championships on it. No excuses, no shortcuts.
Big Cavs fan. I've liked him and followed him for most of his career. One thing that I think people don't talk about is that when he goes to these organizations, he goes there and of course they're in win now mode, but these organizations exhaust all their resources for years to come. And then when he wins, everyone says, oh my God, LeBron's the best. Well, then he leaves and those teams are terrible and they have no capital, they have no draft capital, they have no assets whatsoever. And then they're in the doldrums of the NBA for 4 or 5 years. And they say, oh, see, look what happens. You know, when LeBron leaves, they're terrible. Obviously, he's a great player.
McCants argues that LeBron James treats defense as optional, something to turn on selectively, not something to live in every possession. And when the Lakers struggle on that end, Redick can't point to LeBron, so the blame gets evenly spread, creating the illusion of shared responsibility where none really exists. That dynamic eats away at respect quietly. Players notice who sprints back and who jogs. They see who misses rotations and who gets covered for. They feel who's expected to fix mistakes and who gets excused. Standards don't collapse overnight. They slide slowly through body language, effort, and silence. McCants argues access, relationships, and branding now matter more than honesty. Fans are fed explanations that don't match the film. And the sharpest part of McCants' critique, nobody's even demanding greatness anymore. Not loudly, not publicly, not consistently. That's the real warning sign. The ask here isn't peak athletic dominance or nightly scoring explosions. Rashad McCants makes it clear the demand is way simpler. Visible effort and real accountability.
Is LeBron James the greatest basketball player of all time?
He's probably the greatest in his era. Who knows how he would have played in the 60s when he had to damn near take a Greyhound to every game. Athletes are treated 10 times better than they were before as far as facilities. They got masseuses and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got rubbing their...
Wanting LeBron James to consistently set the defensive tone somehow gets treated like an unreasonable request. And that's wild, because that exact expectation has always followed anyone chasing the greatest of all time label. McCants directly challenges the idea that LeBron has been judged by the same rules as other legends. In his view, LeBron entered the GOAT conversation without being held to the same behavioral and leadership standards that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant lived under every night. When those guys didn't compete or slip defensively, they owned it publicly. No deflection, no soft landings. When LeBron gets criticized, McCants argues the response is dismissal, not debate. Accountability gets waved off instead of discussed.
With the team, the iffiness it causes upstairs, I don't like it either. I mean, I like kind of brag on Michael Jordan here a little bit, and I think we were a similar ilk with the Jazz. Is I like where guys just tighten their belt up and say, you know what, let's go to work. We just got to get better. Yeah. We got to play harder. We got to play smarter instead of just, where's the grass greener? I'm going to go there and win a championship. Yep. I think it devalues that.
And that's where this stretches beyond one player or one team. According to McCants, this mindset reshapes the entire NBA culture. When criticism is rebranded as hate and accountability is labeled disrespect, real conversations die fast. Younger generations start believing greatness is about longevity, branding, and narrative control instead of sacrifice, responsibility, and doing the ugly work no one applauds. That shift matters. You can't sustain excellence by tiptoeing around the truth, and you can't protect a legacy by pretending effort stopped mattering. McCants frames this as a clear fork in the road. The Los Angeles Lakers can keep protecting LeBron through silence and storytelling, or they can reassert the ruthless standards that once defined the franchise. JJ Redick can keep speaking in code, or risk everything by being honest. Fans also have a choice. Believe the explanations or trust what the film shows. McCants leaves everyone with a question that cuts through the noise.
You're taking a helicopter to the top.
Totally agree.
So,
that to me, when Hall of Famers that are generally speaking pretty quiet, want to be ignored, just sitting out in Utah, when they're taking shots at you at the end of your career, like he just took at LeBron James, this is an indication of LeBron's legacy, I think, is going to diminish in retirement, not elevate.
Is this still the Lakers standard? Or has it quietly become something else entirely? Is LeBron providing leadership, or is entitlement being dressed up as legacy? The tape doesn't lie. The effort or lack of it is right there for everyone to see. What keeps this conversation uncomfortable isn't confusion. It's the refusal to be honest about what's happening in plain sight. Rashad McCants pushes it further and says the silence itself has become the loudest warning sign. When nobody speaks up, that tells you everything. McCants points out how former Lakers legends, players who once embodied the franchise's ruthless culture, have mostly avoided addressing what's unfolding on the court. And in his view, that's not accidental. It's caution. Criticizing LeBron James publicly now carries social and professional consequences that simply didn't exist in earlier eras. When silence replaces critique, McCants argues, power has shifted away from basketball values and toward narrative protection. That's when things start to rot quietly. According to McCants, this creates an unspoken rulebook inside the Los Angeles Lakers organization. Some conversations are allowed, others are off limits.
With no Michael Jordan. LeBron James, on the other hand, running around talking about he's the GOAT, knowing you ain't with no Michael Jordan. How about doing like everybody else and pay homage to the GOAT. See, you come off less arrogant and an asshole if you would just say, Michael Jordan is a monster, because he was a monster.
Yeah.
That was Black Jesus. Yeah, you don't want that tongue coming out towards you, do you? You couldn't.
Coaches can talk about effort in abstract terms. Analysts can celebrate longevity. Teammates can preach togetherness. But direct accountability toward LeBron? Taboo. This selective honesty infects everything: rotations, locker room dynamics, body language. When players know the standard bends at the top, it becomes optional everywhere else. The irony is sharp. McCants reminds everyone that LeBron has always framed himself as a student of the game, a respecter of its history. He openly references Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, and Bill Russell when talking about greatness. Yet the behaviors tied to those names suddenly become negotiable in his case. Those legends didn't need organizational shielding. Their authority came from effort, not explanations. Their credibility came from consistency, not branding. McCants also highlights how Lakers' decision-making now feels reactive instead of principled, adjusting to narratives instead of enforcing standards.
Ooh, what I've been telling y'all, bro, I told y'all last video. I even told y'all on that when I read it to the top 10 playoff chokes that he ain't want to see Kobe. I've been to, like, everybody knows that, bro. Like, if you really watch the game, bro, and you watched all the great, you know damn well he ain't want to see Kobe, bro. And when he did face them, Kobe was locking that shit down, bro. And I was mad every time in the all.
And that's the part that should really worry people who care about what this jersey once stood for. The end result is a team constantly adjusting around its leader instead of being driven by him. That's the core issue Rashad McCants keeps circling back to. And that's where J.J. Redick becomes symbolic, not accidental. The longer McCants breaks this down, the clearer it gets. Redick represents modern basketball intellect. He understands spacing, analytics, communication, and accountability language better than most coaches stepping into this league today. Yet even he looks constrained. Post-game comments feel sanitized, rehearsed, safe. McCants doesn't read this as incompetence at all. He reads it as proof of how massive the LeBron James orbit has become. When intelligence collides with politics, honesty is usually the first thing sacrificed. McCants also highlights the long-term impact on younger players. Guys like Austin Reeves experience freedom and confidence in one context, then restraint and hesitation in another. That contrast messes with development. It creates confusion about what's actually valued. Are players supposed to be aggressive or deferential? Are they encouraged to compete or expected to stay in line? Over time, that uncertainty chips away at growth and turns promising contributors into hesitant role players. From McCants' perspective, this is how organizations quietly lose their edge, not through one dramatic collapse, but through exceptions that slowly dilute standards. The Los Angeles Lakers still talk championships, pride, and history, but daily behavior doesn't fully match the language anymore. That gap keeps widening every season. Fans are left trying to reconcile what they're told with what they clearly see on the floor. McCants is careful here. He doesn't claim LeBron is responsible for every flaw in the system, but he insists on one thing: leadership carries disproportionate responsibility. When standards slip, it starts at the top. The film doesn't lie. If this breakdown made you think, make sure to subscribe, share, and stay tuned, because this conversation isn't done and the next chapter is already loading.